Welcome back. Uh, I learned that I have a Twitch channel point reward for reviewing a game, which I'd probably set up like 5 years ago, and I forgot that I had. And so we're gonna look at this game together. This is funny. So yeah, you just use this dumb method. Sorry, I missed the previous comment. I was not paying enough attention. So you had a feature in studies to something between something. Which obviously doesn't work for every browser size. It's a split between chapters. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. We're having a good time here. So, um, as we do this game review, I forget, Lichess does allow you to move the pieces, allows me to move the pieces. There's a sync button or something. Um, you want me to just drive everything, right? I assume. Uh, I'm totally open to whatever we want to do here, because, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll just take a look at it. Sounds good. All right, so we're gonna have Stockfish analyze all the moves. No, okay, just kidding. Um, Queen B3. So this is Grenfell stuff. Queen B5. Yeah. Oh, I don't know about like Queen takes B7 being overly greedy or not. Um, so Queen D3 I've seen before. So amazingly, we're 8 moves into the game. I'm not completely lost yet. Um, oh. Oh! Okay, Queen B7's theory. Okay. So that's not just me wanting to play it, just because I like to play funny things. It is actually theory here. I think Queen D3 is an alternate line, if I remember right. Or at least I've played it before, because Queen B7 spooked me. Not, I haven't even played this line that much as white, obviously, but yeah. Understandably, you'd be out of book here. C5's interesting. Um, mm, what to do? Uh, I'm only questioning what to do because you mentioned you're out of book here. C5 I like if it's playable. Um, seems to build an initiative. Hmm. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. If you don't play C5 now, then you're not going to get a chance to play it. Um, so timing wise, it makes sense. Um, hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything better. C5 looks nice. What concerned or confused me was like pawn takes pawn, which seems to peter out pretty quickly. At least I can't find anything for either side there, but um, anyway. So white played d5. Interesting. Yeah, this looks super weird. Uh, huh. Interesting. Sorry. Uh, like obviously, opening theory is not my cup of tea, but um, what do we got? So like, I guess I'm tempted to consider knight a6. Oh, but you have a3 there. And if a3, knight c7, e4, yeah, it's no good. Okay, castling seems sensible. Um, yeah. b5. Woo! Oh boy. Oh, shnikes. I mean, you have to do something. Or okay. That is a move. Um, uh, I don't know what you want me to commentate about this. Obviously, you know B5 special. Um, I didn't even think it was playable, but like this position looked pretty wretched to me in the first place. I guess the reason it's super confusing to me. Um, yeah, I feel like thing here. Like c5, if you don't play it, you're not going to get a chance to play it. But the way the game proceeded with c5, d5 has me really questioning c5. Anyway, my opening theory is not my strong suit, but this is going to be very opening heavy. Yeah, put a little variation, what you calculated after b5, this thing. Yes, sidebar, knight takes, check, takes. Black is alive. Black's doing fine here. Maybe better. I mean, yeah, on account of Black's castling rights and everything being super effed up here, like, actually, yeah, Black is better there. How could Black possibly be better? Yeah, right. No, I get that. But, like, White can't possibly throw the advantage with just one move like that. There's no way that knight takes pawn is that bad. Like, yeah, it is a possible variation. But I feel like White's gotta have something here still. How can White try to gain advantage out of this? Tactics aren't working. Interesting. Yeah. Maybe queen takes e4 is best, though, because, like, everything else I'm looking at doesn't look super good. I just often, like, the winning moves and positions end up being the last things we ever consider. And often things that we would, like, think this is the most ridiculous idea, of course it's not going to work. I mean, maybe, oh, you thought you'd accomplished a lot. I mean, yeah. I guess maybe my overall perspective on this system is that I don't like the system. But yeah, no, b5 is an improvement, I feel like. I just don't think it helps a lot. Because White controls the center. This is why I was kind of backing up and starting to question c5. It's like, yeah, this is your chance to play c5 if you're playing c5. And playing c5 is allowing you to play b5. And so playing b5 improves the situation after having played c5. But c5 might not be a best use of time. I feel like there's no... I think White's position got stronger after c5, d5. Although b5 did help undermine some of it, but I think White's position's still stronger after c5. Yeah. Yeah, that's all true, but I also maintain, like, why c5? Is this in the database? Okay, c5 is in the Lichess database. In the master DB? It's not in the master DB. Apparently it's playable. I guess I'm strongly opinionated about this. Like, somehow I just am not caring for it. But it's fine. Oh yeah, they don't play Queen D3 so often. Yeah, that explains it. So I apologize. You asked me to do the review, and now I'm gonna delegate to Stockfish to opine. Stockfish likes c5. I still don't. I like, okay, yeah, for an engine that's fine. I don't think I can easily understand. Like, yeah, there are unique advantages to c5. If you don't play it now, you're not going to get to play it later. It's still a messy position. Um, but I guess maybe castling first is even messier, and playing it right away is the way to go. Pardon me. So yeah, now Stockfish cares for B5 as well. Okay. Yeah, I'm not intending to use Stockfish, but um, yeah, at least not for anything more than spot checking. Now, spot checking is, anyway, that's a concern where, or it's a concern because if Stockfish spots something, then you have to ask it a question, another question eventually, and it can explain to you in detail. And then it's more than just a spot check at that point. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, C5 parallels a lot of stuff in similar positions, similar openings. So I guess I could see it. Um, I did listen to a podcast where Ben Feingold was the guest, and he was explaining how he plays the Nimzo Indian as black. And it's that and positions like this are having me consider that maybe I want to play the Nimzo just like Ben used to, even though his recommendations only up to like a 1600 rating suggestion. Um, anyway, yeah, I don't want to play this stuff. This is complicated and messy. Um, although it's playable, you got to play it. Um, it's just super hard for me to comment on this because, like, yeah, I can't possibly justify my comments. I could, but like, I'm not good enough, or some other excuse. Um, I don't know. It's interesting to have my perspective on this stuff, but I'm just not sure it's that interesting. So he's got to develop the queen. Like, this is. I feel like my analysis is a bit superficial here. Okay, white's preparing bishop f1. Black pushes the king's side. Bishop h6 anchors the knight. Hmm. Was there another plan here? I wonder. Um, was there something else? So, what does knight f4 do? Oh, it threatens to invade with knight d3. But this is just a threat. Yeah. Like, surely bishop f5 is fantastic here, no? Might not be winning, but um, yeah. I mean, engines will point out where the thread was lost, but um, it feels like this. Whatever motivated you to play knight f4, the motivation should still be there if you play bishop f5 first. Um, and having played bishop f5 first, then there's not the possibility of the queen ending up on e2 with gain of time or something like that. Um, yeah. Yeah. That's the other thing is so I'm starting on tweaking Lichess's rating system. That's perhaps going to be the first step of decades of research. Um, so yeah, once we can accurately predict who's going to win a game, then we could start quantifying things like losing the thread. Because engine evals are just so difficult. That's not super useful. Didn't like queen d2, queen c1 stop. Oh, shit. That does stop knight f4, doesn't it? Yeah. I apologize. I'm giving my thoughts. My thoughts kind of suck here. No, you're absolutely right. Uh, why am I so confident? I just feel like black should have something. But I think the thread was already lost. Oh, a5. What's... Okay, yeah. I guess since white's pawn prevents bishop f5, that's fine. But yeah, a5, that's an endgame move. You know that, right? This is one of the more humbling lessons I've had maybe in the last year or so. Um, but pushing pawns, that's endgame stuff. This is something that like is not uh yeah, whatever. Whatever. Um like I think this is a concept that all chess players maybe below 2400 can learn from. Um so I'm maybe speaking out of my butt, I don't know. But pushing pawns, that's the stuff of endgames. Yeah, we have fancy names for like majority attack, minority attack, pawn storm, whatever. Um, but many endgames get lost if you're pushing pawns too frequently. I constantly get burned by pushing pawns too many times in endgames. But I think that's not even an endgame specific problem. I think the tendency, in fact, I'd love to see Lichess do a study of this. We have the tooling, in fact, already in place for it. You can actually do Lichess or chess insights. You could compare your win rate versus your propensity to push pawns in the opening, or propensity to push them in the middle game, or propensity to push them in the end game. I think. I know you can do performance versus likelihood to push pawn versus move other pieces. But I have a theory, and we actually have the tooling to test this theory. And this would be revolutionary if it is true. So that's why I'm maybe excited about promoting the idea. Um, Pushing pawns is just not something you want to spend time doing unless you can open lines immediately with it. Um, yeah, the more pawns you have to push to make something happen, the more of a waste of time it is. But um, so like I don't know. Obviously, I don't completely know what I'm talking about, but I'm having some kind of reaction to your earlier comments explaining like losing the thread. And so like as I'm stepping forward through this, I'm like, I just don't see anything better here. I don't see anything better here. And then I see like A5 and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, come on. It A5 it does destabilize the knight. The knight's not going to capture its own pawns. That's not where the knight's going. Um, it doesn't radically change the pawn structure to play a5. It doesn't open any lines playing a5. Yes, black does, like black's entire plan with the bishop on the open diagonal must be to do something on the queen side, and a5 will definitely be part of that plan. That is like, yeah, that's in stone. That said, however, um, I just like I'm not buying a5 here. Maybe I'm stupid. Stockfish is probably gonna hate my saying this, but what does Stockfish recommend? Bishop h6, knight f4. How about a5? Is a5 playable? Stockfish doesn't like a5 either. Okay, so I think I'm not completely talking out of my butt. Um, I think a5 just loses a tempo in a position where a lot of crazy stuff's going on. Um, and so, yeah. Like destabilizing the knight and all that's great and abstract, but I'm reminded of Dwyron, who was playing a Go game, and I made some kind of observation about like, hey, could I make this kind of threat in this position? And like his response is, well, yes, it is possible to go fishing while your house is on fire. Maybe that's not what you want to do. Um, I have a similar sense that A5 B4, that's definitely a long-term plan. But man, this is such a wild position. I just, with white threatening so many different things, I'm just spooked out. Um, I just feel like there's no way that black has time for A5 in this position, with the center being in dispute. Um, I don't know how you would fight it, which kind of upsets me. Um, Sorry, I'm just kind of. I don't know what to do for black. Yeah, I could recite whatever it is that Stockfish just said and say, well, yeah, that was the move. But it's kind of what I'm doing in criticizing A5 without being able to offer constructive criticisms. But, like, I just don't see, even if you get A5 in, even if you get B4 in, even if you get to play B3 or C3, like, none of this, it chases the knight away, but I just don't get it. Um, it doesn't seem to fundamentally. Black doesn't have enough firepower to promote a pawn on the queen side. White controls the center. Black controls the long diagonal. Black has a knight on the edge of the board. White has a knight on c3. Um, yeah, yeah. So sorry, um, my problem here is that I can't give a better. I don't easily know how to play something better than a5. And you raise a good point that like any other suggestion you come up with, like knight f4 here immediately, potentially gets problematic in a hurry. Um, so like if I'm I'm walking both sides of this fence, and then I'm not suggesting something better than a5, but then I'm also saying I don't like a5 any at all, and that like it's kind of necessary to find a plan instead of just making a move. Um, that said, often in blitz and slower, I just make moves. Like I'd play something like f5 here just for lulz, um, which is a terrible idea. Don't play that way. Um, but yeah, I'm maybe not the most qualified to, but yeah, I'm just having a moment. I don't know what to make of this. It's my first day playing chess. I don't know. What's my best excuse here? I'm not sure. Um, so you had a side variation noted here. Yeah, e5 is spooky. Although they got to play e5 anyway. Um, so b4. I just feel like a bit of an imposter doing this analysis. Because, yeah, I'm not sure what to say. Either I'm going to outcalculate or I'm not going to outcalculate. If I don't, I probably won't. Then my suggestions tend to be invalid. Um, yes, this analysis looks reasonable. I didn't see any hole in it. I mean, if you're trying to poke a hole, you keep the queens on the board, but this is no good because black's in a space deficit, so black wants to exchange. Conversely, white doesn't want to exchange, but maybe they're forced to play knight e4. Um, oh, I guess having played that, yeah, this is forced next. Other tactics like knight takes d5 are just too much. Yeah, they're not playable here. Or if they were, you would have spotted already. Um, yeah, you don't want to allow queen takes d4. You played that, and there we go. Yeah. Bishop f5 looks sensible. If black's trying to push to win, maybe bishop c6, but this seems to get in the way of the rook wanting the c-file and gives white a target in the event that they can like move the knight or something to hit the bishop. Yeah, okay. I guess I'm persuaded. This looks okay. I'm the provocateur though here. So as provocateur, I get to make fun suggestions. Do you know what's the most fun looking move in this position? This one. Keep the bishop so it can go aim at the king on the long diagonal, right? I mean, am I crazy? Yeah. This looks good. This looks irrationally, unreasonably good. Okay, if you had a queen, you'd agree. Oh, and yeah, you don't have a rook on the H file. If you had a rook on the H file and we're threatening to open it up, yeah, that'd be a one matter. But, um, uh, you do know that like putting this on F5, it gets to aim at the queen side. Like, uh, do you stand? Okay. Is bishop f5 a serious suggestion? I apologize for asking this, but like I'm bad at teaching. Um so uh like okay. Yeah, this is just a move in the sub variation. There's I don't think I could be persuaded to play this move if I'm trying to win or draw. Um so it's just a move in this variation. It's not your primary point. Um, but yeah, I think bishop c8 would have been fun and interesting and prevent potentially, even without the queen on the board, like you have a bishop pair on an open board. Sticking the pieces in front of the pawns seems like a recipe for disaster, but um, it is what it is. Um, yeah, minor pieces, and even in fact major pieces, belong on the opponent's side of the board. Everything belongs up there, minus whatever you absolutely need to defend your king. So anyway, we got this position. Yeah, we got to destabilize the knight while this happened. Quote, I told you so, unquote. So, okay, we got to develop. That's cool. Got some, what's this? What did I miss? White sacrifices a knight. Okay. What in the world? After 96. Yeah, I missed a comment. I apologize. Let me try to catch it. It's after 96 something. I guess you're saying you like this position. It looks quite nice. Or you felt like, yeah, the queen got trapped. Oh. Oh. I missed that. That's brilliant. Obviously, that just happened here. That's super funny. Wow. Yeah. This needs to. It'd be funny if Lichess Puzzle Database could include games like this and positions like this. Most famous queen trap. There should be a category in the puzzle system for like queen traps that just pop up out of nowhere. Yeah, so you're winning since you got to win a piece. They avoided giving away their queen. And you're better, and I presume they resigned here. I feel still like an imposter because I'm just like backseating, armchair quarterbacking this, saying, yeah, this is good, saying, no, this is bad, and really failing to explain myself. But it's a fun experience. Um, should we go on? Yeah, I see. Should I go back and review anything here? Should I say anything or discuss anything or whatever? Yeah. Um, yeah. I guess White let their guard down. So, mission accomplished. Just play in a manner that your opponent doesn't expect you to win, and then play the winning move. And they're like, oh, well, damn. Maybe that's the key. There should be a rating, or I'm sorry, an eval bar or system for getting the opponent's trust, getting the opponent to miss stuff. There should be an eval bar for like how likely is my opponent to be overwhelmed and completely miss on something based on the way I'm playing. Yeah. Uh, I see. This is your highest rated win. Because your opponent's 2300 plus. Yeah, that's exceptional. Congratulations. Um, yeah. Again, I'm not 2300, so I couldn't say exactly what it takes to beat them in general. Um, yeah, I am armchair quarterbacking because I just cannot seem to find constructive ideas that prove here's a better way to do it. Even if the ideas are kind of cool. Um, this is a fun game review. If you want, I could refund the points back because this is fun and I think my analysis could have been better, but um, either way, it was entertaining. Um, yeah, and I hope to do more game reviews in the future, despite thinking I need to learn a thing or two. Yeah, I think you will too. Yeah. Um, I do have some empathy or compassion or something about like I do want to try to help. I just don't know how I can. So, uh, yeah. Maybe we'll revisit this next year. Maybe this is going to be the game that we just review every year, and the review's just going to get better and better every year, as maybe I have some idea what to say about it, just based on experience gained over time. I think that'd be a fun exercise. Like, have a game that this is the game that we review every April 1st or something. And yeah, I think that could be an interesting way to test a person's ability to annotate games. Also interesting, like you could do the same sort of thing with an AI or a bot or whatever you want to do. It's any kind of program. You could do programmatic testing of how good is a review and what variations were identified and how are they evaluated. And you could start doing all this kind of analysis of the analysis. Um, and the point isn't necessarily to improve AI teachers, but more to help people with self learning and understand the weaknesses in their self analysis. So I'm sure my weaknesses here were many, but um, yeah. I do wonder what an AHS reviewer is currently the most advanced. Yeah. I haven't seen anything too compelling just yet. Um, I think it would be fascinating to get some of the strong ML models. Well, no, they wouldn't be any good at this. Um, I think Chessmaster 10th edition has some decent. It's not even what you call AI, but it has a decent game reviewer, but it's geared at like a level below 2000. Um, oh, okay. I'll have to take a look at what chess.com has done and see if Lichess can find or do something better. I think that'd be a fascinating challenge. Um, but yeah, my thought was like, it seems kind of a hopeless cause. Or rather, not that, but it seems like an enormous project and not one for an individual person like myself or a small group or a small team to work on, but potentially it could be a large initiative. Um, and therefore, I'm tending to despair on that and just say, okay, we're going to kick the can on this. But rather than assessing whether an AI is good at this, or machine learning, or large language model, or what have you, um, people could apply this sort of analysis to their own analysis. It's like meta analysis here, and try to find what are the weaknesses in their own reviews. What are their blind spots? Because, like, folks below 2,000 have blind spots for sure. And not only do they have them, they're not even aware that they have them. It's just maddening seeing these people going around. Like, anyway, that's politics. So, yeah, interesting game. I guess if I publish this as a video, I guess to those watching, thanks for watching. And we'll try to do better next time. We're always learning. We can always find a way to do better. I have to do some meta whatever analysis to figure out what it is that I can do better, so I'm not flailing about the entire time. But it's cool. I guess part of it, maybe I need to find an engine or something that can easily help me do this. Yeah. Optional sync study look board for the players instead of a synced analysis. Yeah, maybe. Could be. Um, yeah, actually, having an experience that's more like the authentic 81 Dojo experience. Or I think even Lee Shogi's trending in a certain way. Anyway, having something like that, having better tooling in that regard could be useful. Just to better improve communication between people and also between a person and themselves. So they can, like, study a game in a disciplined manner and understand where it is that they are following and are not following, get best practice. Um, that'd be cool. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's fair. So, anyway, I guess to those who enjoyed this video, thanks for watching.